Gibraltar's new permanent presence in Brussels, headed by former MEP Sir Graham Watson, has attracted a fair bit of interest. Around 85 guests are gathering this evening at 17 Square Ambiorix, a converted historic building, to witness the opening of the new office. These include MEPs, diplomats, journalists and ambassadors in what is not just a ceremonial opening but also a PR event.
We're in a fantastic square, very close to the Commission and very close to some of the other institutions, very close to UKREP, the UK's office in Brussels, and it's going to enable us to have representation in the heart of the decision-making capital of the European Union.
Just ahead of this encounter, a series of meetings has helped the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, the new Attorney General Michael Llamas and the delegation touch base with Gibraltar's MEPs. The first meeting has been with Conservative MEP Ashley Fox, who's told GBC he's optimistic that an EU referendum won't go badly for Gibraltar. Mr. Fox says he's delighted that Gibraltar is opening an office in Brussels and says he will continue to work towards ensuring that the ROC isn't excluded from the Single Sky Agreement and other European measures.
Well, the aim of the British government is to secure a new deal for the United Kingdom. And of course, Gibraltar is included in that arrangement. And when we have renegotiated our terms of membership, we will then put that to an in-out referendum of the British people. And the people of Gibraltar will be included in the electorate. Now, our aim is to secure a better deal so that we can recommend that we stay. But understand that if there isn't a better deal on offer, then the Prime Minister rules nothing out. So I'm hopeful that we can renegotiate a better deal. I'm an optimist. I know that colleagues here, especially the Germans, want us to stay. They want to do a deal, and I'm confident that we can achieve that.
The Gibraltar delegation also met with representatives from UKIP, Julia Reid, and Labour's Claire Moody. Mr. Picardo.
We had very good discussions, so it went very well, I think.
Presumably you're not on the same page though, because UKIP wants Britain out of the EU, whereas Gibraltar doesn't.
Oh, that's true. We do want to trade with the European Union, but we don't want to be part of the political union. And we don't believe that you have to be a member of a political union to trade. So we would suggest that possibly that would be the same for Gibraltar.
I think it's vital for Gibraltar that the UK stays inside the European Union. For, freedom of movement is, just a fundamental principle, and so I will be campaigning shoulder to shoulder with Fabian to, I hope, keep the whole of the UK and Gibraltar inside the European Union.
Mr. Picardo has also addressed the European Parliament's Tax Committee, a newly formed body set up following the Luxembourg leaks last year. This was Mr. Picardo's first address before the committee, at the Gibraltar government's request, designed to counter many of the accusations made about Gibraltar's corporate tax regime by Spain. The meeting was held in private. Mr. Picardo was forced to defend Gibraltar's tax system against aggressive questioning by a representative of the Popular People's Alliance in Europe, of which the Partido Popular is a member. The Gibraltar government will now be following up this oral submission with a written report.
Well, the most important thing was that Gibraltar was there because we had asked to be there, and the chairman of the committee made the point that Gibraltar had not had to be dragged kicking and screaming to give information, but had sought the meeting with the tax committee, and it was therefore a good opportunity for me to give information to the committee about the huge work that Gibraltar has done to ensure compliance with the state aid rules of the European Union and all other directives and tax information exchange initiatives that have recently been on the agenda internationally. Our commitment to transparency and our commitment to always ensure that Gibraltar is up to date with its international legal obligations and in particular EU obligations. I had to field questions from different members of the committee, all of which seemed to be straightforward, reasonable and related to the subject, except of course for some questions from the Spanish delegate from the Partido Popular who wanted to ask me about tobacco, which is completely outside the remit of the committee. Answers which I gave despite making the point that they were outside the remit of the committee, simply to bat back and demonstrate that the prejudices that he was putting to the committee were entirely wrong, and in that way enable me to embarrass him for what he was doing.
The last item in a packed Wednesday agenda is the main event itself, the inauguration of the new office in Brussels, an event which is going on as this bulletin goes on air and which we'll bring you a full report on in tomorrow's news. Jonathan Sacramento, GBC News, Brussels.